Let me see, 1 second. Okay, so I am back. I wanted to come back on earlier, but my daughter decided to get in and cook. And we live in a pretty small apartment, so whenever she's moving about in the apartment, I like for her to be able to move around and have her privacy, because sometimes she may be on the phone with her friends, or just little things that she may be doing in the background that is her personal business. But she cooked and dinner was great. By the way, let me adjust my phone. Oh, 1 second. You guys are propped up on my Shakespeare. Okay. So yeah, she did a awesome job with dinner, and I would have sat and ate it at my desk while I was filming, but I had to devote my full attention to the meal because I'm already a slow eater, and if I'm engaged in something, I eat even much slower. So this is a look at, did film what she cooked. So I had to focus my full attention on the meal that she took time to prepare. Or I made some tea. That tea is really good. But she made a spinach dip, a seafood pasta, asparagus, and garlic toast. And I prepared this is hibiscus and Earl Grey mixed together, and I did add some lime to it, and it's sweetened with agave. So that was really good. So right now we are going to swatch out the Koi watercolor tubes. I went ahead and made the chart so that I wouldn't have to take so much time to do that. And I will add each tube, a dot of each tube, onto this palette here, which is a much bigger palette. I guess I'll turn it this way. That way you'll be able to see the swatch, the dots better. And another thing I'm going to do in a separate video is this book here. Okay, so this was always one of my favorite books, and it's actually a book from my mom's library when I was growing up. But I took this book and I have had it for years, and you can see it's in very, very bad shape now. So I'm going to do my best to restore this book to the best of my ability. I was always in love with this. It's the title, show you guys, is A Masterpiece of Terror and the Supernatural. It had a sleeve on it and everything. I throughout the years lost all of that, but I have always loved this book. And one of my, I have to show you this, all-time favorite poems in this book is The Earl King. Love, love, love this poem. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna read this one. And the heading up here, starting with the heading, It says, let me put my glasses on. So, the activity and rhythms of writing dominate several poems and songs of the supernatural, one of the most famous of which is The Earl King by John Wolfgang van Goethe. And it is from, he was born in 1749 and died in 1843, author of the great German poem drama Faust. The Earl King, subject of at least one art song, probably inspired The Demon of Gabbett by Fitz James O'Brien, but also note Berger's Lenore, both included in this volume. So, The Earl King, this poem here, I was such a young child and fell in love with this poem. And okay, so The Earl King by John Wolfgang van Goethe. Who spurs his steed so late this night? A man whose son is sick with fright. He hugs his child to keep him warm, but can't outride the fearful storm. Why do you shiver, my son, and cry? Because the Earl King's drawing nigh. I see his shroud, I hear him moan. 'Tis but the fog, we ride alone. Oh, little child, come ride with me. We'll greet my mother merrily. She'll pick you flowers and presents bring, and dress you like a little king. Oh, Father, help, do you not know the Earl King's voice that whispers low? Oh, rest, my son, oh, peace, my child, 'tis but the wind that blows so wild. Oh, little child, let's ride away. With you my daughters wish to play. They'll give you gifts that you may keep. They'll dance, they'll sing, so you may sleep. Oh, Father, help, oh, can't you see? The Earl King's daughters beckon me. My son, forget these idle fears. You see the willow weep its tears. Oh, little child, I love you so that I'll never let you go. Oh, Father, help, or I'll take flight. The Earl King's clutch is cold and tight. The shivering rider hugs his son, then spurs his steed into a run that brings him home. The father cries, for in his arms his baby dies. And it was adapted in English by Marvin Kaye. When I tell you that this is one of the most beautifully written poems, and I am certain that this poem is one of the reasons that I fell so in love with poetry at such a young age. Also, the I did a live earlier where I swatched from my Koi watercolor set of 30, where I prepared the swatch card for this. I still haven't labeled it or anything yet, but I did check some of my older videos and I was able to find my old swatch card on one of my older videos. And ironically, this one did have the names on the card. Some of Koi palettes, I think it was a controversy at one time because some of the Koi palettes only had numbers, they didn't have names, but this set did have the names listed on it. So I did a screenshot from my from my later video, and I'm going to go ahead on and fill the names in on this card later. So we're going to get started with swatching these out. And again, I'm going to have to So when I get to the white, this under black mark will just show the opaqueness of the white. And all of the regular Sharpies I have, I can't find any of them. All I can find right now is my Sharpie pens. So I'll get to dotting these out. And I don't need much of them since I'm just doing a card. The binding separated on here. I was hoping I didn't run into that issue. I have to mix that one in as I'm working with it. Trying to see, what do I have that I can mix these with? I don't like having to do this because this creates extra work. So I know what I'll do. I'm going to have to swatch them as I go because I will have to keep cleaning that toothpick. All right, so let's get started. And let me see if I'll swatch with my number 8 round instead of this size 10. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, I'm about to get started, so just enjoy watching me swatch these paints. And I'm swatching these out on Canson watercolor paper. The paper I was using earlier is just, I would really have to tape that one down. I was using the bee inspired watercolor paper earlier. sure you can see. Hey sis, oh, you still up? Yeah, I know you gonna make it. You still woke. I didn't call or text you to let you know I was going live because I thought you may have went to sleep. It took me so long to come back on because Nene cooked. She was in the kitchen cooking, and I wanted to give her her little time, the time and space she needed to do what she had to do. Oh, I had you waiting. I'm so happy you stayed up and waited. You know how I am. I'm a night owl. And then okay, I'm gonna tell her. Work posted a shift at the last minute. I was so convinced to take it. They posted a 12 o'clock shift, but it came through at I want to say 11:05, 11:10. So I would have had to get myself fight to get myself together, probably use at least an hour of my PTO because I would have been late. So I didn't worry about picking it up. Right, yeah. I don't like when they post the shifts late like that. I knew that I had the feeling that they were about to start posting shifts because at first we had a lot of VTO coming out. And I noticed this week VTO stopped. So when I noticed that the VTO stopped, I said hopefully VET will start. And sure enough, today the first VET shift came out, but it just didn't come out at a convenient time for me to pick it up. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, I guess I will. Trying to skip these colors. This is going to be a mess because some of the binding on these are so separated. This is a good one. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to start picking up extra shifts. And I think with the holiday coming up, we'll probably have more shifts available. It's exciting when they start VTO, especially after have to work so much MET. But then it can get a little frustrating when all you're seeing is VTO, VTO. Because we want to see the extra shifts sometimes. Yeah, inflation don't allow us to just sit home like that. You worked on any of your cups today? This green is gorgeous. I think you came on after I read my poem, Kim. I don't know if you were on when I was reading the poem. If not, you're gonna have to check that part of the video out at the beginning. And also, I did not mention that the tube watercolors do have the names on them. So there are names on the tubes, which is great. Okay. Okay. I read it from the book, my little infamous book that I've been carrying around for years. One of Mom's old books that I took off of her shelf when we were young. Don't let her see this video. She'll be like, oh, that's where my book went. Exactly. Yeah. We lost so much in Katrina. Some of these are badly separated. I may have to figure out a unique way to be able to put some of these colors into a pan. I just don't like how they dry. But I noticed on this porcelain palette, I guess because I'm putting them down in thin layers, they don't crack the way they did when I put them in their little watercolor palette, and they would just crack and fall out. The one thing I don't like about Canton watercolor paper is they have, sometimes you could tell there's some type of waxy layer on top where the colors skip. But I like to use more of my student grade watercolor papers for stuff like this rather than using those expensive papers. No, it doesn't make it hard for them to dry. It's just, and it's not as noticeable when you finish with the art piece. It's more noticeable when you're actually painting. It's like painting on a, and it's not bad. It's just, I guess the binding on a paper, it has like a little bit of a waxy layer to it that makes the paint skip sometimes. That's why I like on these practice pieces and stuff like this, you use your cheaper paper. See how, I don't know if you can see how this paint is all cracked up on this mat right here, this little bitty spot. That's why I prefer to use it from the tubes. And rather than letting it dry. Because I have nice quality. I'm gonna show you what a nice quality. These are my I made this palette And I purchased this palette separately because this is how it originally comes. This is my Holbein palette. Stunning, stunning palette. Love it. So these are the ones that originally come in. This is how a Holbein setup comes originally. But they also sell the palettes separately where you can buy the empty palettes. So this was an empty palette that I purchased. I decked it out, put my little jewels on it, and this is how the paints. These are the Koi Tube Watercolors, and these dry. I mean, really, really nice. You don't have any. There's no cracking to them or anything. That's this little. I was so happy to see that I hadn't put this set in storage because I love these so much. I actually stopped using this palette because I thought that I put these in storage. So I was going through some of my art supplies this past weekend. I was so happy when I pulled this out. And the crazy thing is, I've been out here for almost 3 years. I think I've been in a it's kind of weird to explain, a happy depressed state, because I'll pull out my art supplies sometimes, but not nearly as much as I did when I was home. And I just didn't know what that was, why. And that's why I'm trying to start more now. I'm trying to commit to doing the lives because it's making me put my hands on my art supplies the way I used to, because I just I still had my love of art. I sit and I watch a lot of art videos. I read a lot of stuff on art, but it was just me touching my own supplies. It was something holding me back from doing that. And I guess it was because I'm happy where I am right now, but it's still a longing being away from home and being away from family. So I have to grow through that. And then another thing, I guess when JP came out last week, that put me in a better state. I felt a little more uplifted. And we had taken the trip home that previous week. So I think that's why I'm feeling a little better than I had been feeling. Yeah, we just have to pull ourselves out of that funk though, and just trust that no things will get better. And then traveling, for one, it can be overwhelming at times. Flying it's fun sometimes, but it's just sometimes it's just a headache. It's annoying. And then constantly paying for flights like that is just Naoki is yeah. Naoki being quiet for me right now. I probably don't need to speak too fast, especially if she hear her name. We had a hailstorm warning and I had an outside earlier. As soon as the hailstorm warning came to my phone, I ran outside and grabbed her. She had to cut her playtime short. Maybe she happy and quiet because she talked to her friends outside today. Yes. She hear her name, that's it. Did you call? Almost touched the wrong color. So which one am I next? You'll also get to see the food and they cooked. If you rewatch from the beginning, I am so full right now. And like I was saying, I could have said it because I set up a little wing table next to my desk to make things a little easier. I was thinking while as she was cooking, my plan was to just set the food up on the table and eat as I was working. When I saw that food, I was like, oh no, this demands my full attention. She did such a good job on it. It was nice. These are such pretty colors. This brush has too many loose hairs on it. Oh, you haven't eaten dinner? Are you going to eat anything tonight? Well, this morning, because it's actually morning now. Oh, okay. Yeah, especially if you're going to be going to sleep soon. You don't want to go to sleep with anything on your stomach. Looks like this one. Maybe separated. Yep. Oh, look at that huge mess. And this is what's needed in the paint to keep it from being so dry. I'm gonna have to stir this one, which means I have to get rid of this. Having to do this takes a lot of extra time. You had avocado toast and your protein coffee. Okay. I still have not ever mixed a protein coffee, although I don't know if adding the spirulina, because I do that sometimes, would consider it as being a protein coffee. Especially for work, I like to add spirulina to it because sometimes for work I don't bring much of anything to eat. But as long as I have my coffee, I'm okay. This is a lot of paint to waste because I'm not actually doing a painting with it right now. Yeah. And for the if you putting it in your coffee, I mean, yeah, your coffee, use the blue one rather than the green. I add the green one to smoothies, but the blue one has no smell or taste to it. So I like to use that one for coffee, desserts, yogurt. You've seen that. I've even mixed it in ice cream before. So, and the blue one, it just has no taste. It has no taste. It doesn't adjust the taste of your food. You're just getting the benefits of it. Now there is more benefits to the green rather than the blue, but it's still a help. Trying to add some of this back into the tube. Don't know how good of a job I'm doing that. And this is a lot, believe it or not, this is a lot of paint to have to waste. I'm gonna show you. Show you how much this is. Can you see it? Maybe I'll let that dry in. I could use it for something. Still has some on there, but I think I'm gonna go with the white next. Because it's not gonna be an exciting color to look at. Yeah, it does. And this one is, yep, separated really bad as well. I'm gonna get up and go make sure that this little toothpick is really clean before I stick it into the white paint. I would hate to contaminate the color with something else, because once you mess up your white, although it's not very of a well used color for watercolor anyway. I think I'm gonna use this one straight off the toothpick. Come move these for a minute. So I'm not worrying about the transparency of the white. Oh, looks like this. Yeah, that didn't dry well enough. That's why I wanted my regular Sharpie. Just let it go on the pencil lines. I'll just judge from the pencil lines because the ink pen, it's running a little bit with the ink pen, but it did cover the pencil line, so I'll just let it dry like that. That's why I didn't let that be my last swatch, because I knew it wasn't gonna be that fun and exciting. This one's pretty good. I may try to come on every day that I'm off. If I don't come on, most likely I done picked up a work shift. My preference is to hopefully pick up a work shift. Okay, so this is the completed chart, and I'm going to go ahead on and I might as well go ahead on and fill in the names while we're at it. Let's see. What this pen gonna do? So one more thing. Earlier I was watching a lot on the author of The Creative Act, Rick Rubin, and one very, very impactful thing that he said, I just, and I wrote this down before because I love the statement. He said, if you make something and everybody likes it, chances are you haven't gone far enough. The best work divides the audience. The best people love it. And I mean, the best work, people love it and people hate it. That is so true because everything in life, if it's the same, it will never create conversation. We'll never have interesting conversations or people having their opinions about things. We'll walk around like automated zombies or something, agreeing with every single thing. So I thought that was a very, very impactful statement. Just had to share that one. So this first color, let me see how I'm going to write these in. If I'm going to write them sideways or... Yeah, I think I'm going to write them from the side. And that one's still wet. Put this along a little bit so I can start writing this down. So this first one is lemon yellow. And the thing about these is they have the name on there and also the color number. Let me pull out a chart that have the numbers on it. So I keep pulling this one out. Yeah. So let's see if this number is on here. This is number 2. So nope, none of these. But this one, number 52, actually looks like it could be lemon yellow. And this is my cards from the set of 72. And now there's a set of 98, I want to say. It's not 100. I think it's 98. I don't need it, but I want it. And eventually I will get it. But this is my set of 72. Wait, let's see. This palette is locked down, isn't it? Let me see if I can lift this palette out. Okay. So this is my set of 72. And I'm going to take one of these brushes and put in my set of 30 because this was my most used palette, and I just did all kind of stuff to this palette, including that fact that I don't even know where I put the brush for it. So I'm just going to take one of the brushes from this set and put it in here, and this will be complete because I'll have the cord, the swatch cord, the brush, and this palette will be complete. Now I love my old swatch card, and I really hope I find it because my old swatch card, I did that one on some nice quality watercolor paper. I did that on my arch paper, so I hope I could find whatever I did. Most likely it's inside of one of my books because I use all kind of stuff for bookmarks. So I'll probably go through a book or something and eventually find it. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. Compare the chart. Oh, I left it out. I do have it out. Okay. Let's see. If there's a number. No, there's not a number 2 on here either. It starts with 52. So I'm wondering if, because these look exactly the same. Number 2, lemon yellow, and number 52, they look exactly the same. So I wonder if they just label the pan colors with different numbers as the tube. Okay. And this one is deep yellow. And it is number 4. Yeah, I'm thinking the tubes are labeled differently because these numbers, they're not correlating with this at all. And let's see if I can find this on here. I would say this one is, let's see, I'll do better like this. This one may be number 63, using it from the pan. And then we have yellow ochre, which is always down to the bottom of the chart. And comparing that to the card, I would say maybe 71. 071, and on from the tube is number 15. Like my birthday, September 15th. Burnt sienna. And let's see. Let's find burnt sienna on here. 193. And the tube is number 12. Okay, vermilion is number 18. Did I show the burnt sienna? I don't know if I did. This is the burnt sienna. This was the yellow ochre. Okay, so, and here we go. This is the vermilion hue. And this is number 18 on here. And on the card, the closest I would say would be number 15 from the pan. Some of that chipped off green actually dried into this card. That wouldn't be a problem unless I get the card wet. Then that green will reactivate. It's number 18. And then this is the Carmine, which is number 19. And let's see. And this Carmine, it in person it looks more, it has a huge pinkish hue to it. It looks, I don't know if it's showing up like that on the camera, but it's not as red. And this one would compare on the card. I don't know, not number 20. I think it will come all the way back to number 32. On the card. And the tube is number 19. So this is the yellow green. Beautiful, beautiful green on the card. Really pretty. And the closest it will compare to is number 114, which is obviously not the same. 114 is different. So this almost looks like it's 114 and the one that's considered the neon green mixed together. So it is yellow green and it's number 27. So up next we have Viridian Hue. I got this 230. And it's number 31. And let's see if we can find this on the card. And I immediately, my eye compares that one to 108 from the Pan Watercolors. See this 31, yeah. And this that binding drying on here is really sticky. Well, it's not sticky, but I can see how it dried on there, and that's a part of what holds the watercolor pigments together. The powdery pigments, that's a part of what holds them together. Okay, so now we have cobalt blue hue. It's closer to my birthstone, which is sapphire. But really, I wouldn't say the cobalt. Swatched out, this looks more like December. What is December's? I know December is a light blue. I can't think of the color for it. But this is the cobalt blue hue, and it is number 36. So let's find that one on the card. It could possibly be this one that I messed up and put the white out on. And that's why that one don't look too great, which is 154. Because it don't really look. This 145 almost look like it has yellow undertones to it. So this one, I may wind up doing this card over because I had two mistakes on here that I used white out on. So they could not really be that accurate. Did work just send something else? Yep, they just sent out a new shift for 145. I'm gonna be ready tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna be dressed and ready tomorrow and wait for a shift to come through, and I'm gonna hop in my car and go to work. So this one is cobalt blue. And what number did I say this one is? Number 36. Okay, and let me do this Chinese white. I don't know why, I just want to get rid of this one. It's not my favorite color. It's no one's favorite color in watercolor painting. But we have here Chinese white, and on here it is number 50. And on the card, it is number 3. Now this swatch may not be as accurate because it looks like it has blue undertones to it because my ink pen did bleed a little. And this is number 50. Now I had a white pen. Let me see if I can find my white pen. I have one more bag I need to go check. I'm going to check to see if I can find my white pen because this black ink will not show up on, it may show up, but I'm going to go look for my white pen first before I attempt writing that in with the black. Glad I followed my first mind. Hopefully it's not dry. Okay, I think that'll write well enough to show up. Okay, and this one is Ivory Black, number 49. Let's find that on here. That will compare to maybe number, this looks like number 231. I should have wrote these in with white, but it's number 231 on here. Let's see, hopefully this. I may write it, put it in with the black because it's still not coming through like I want it to. You can see it a little bit, but I'm gonna write over it with the black. I can see it, but it may not be showing up as well for you to be able to see it. It's not so bad. Okay. And why did I put the cap on? Because I have one more to do. All right, and last but not least, the band on the tube does not match the actual pigment color, but we have Prussian blue, and this Prussian blue, it looks a little different than most Prussian blues, because most Prussian blues have a little bit more of a yellow undertone to them, but this is still a very pretty blue. And this is Prussian blue, and it's number 43. And on here, this may be another one that I messed up on the card, which is number 155. I did say 45, right? No, 43, number 43. Okay, so that's all the numbers written in. I mean, the names and numbers written in on. Okay, so that's the completed swatch card for this. And it's always good to have a swatch card with whatever paints you have, because as you can see, the colors that are on the bands don't always match up to what actually comes out of the tube, especially like with this carmine. This looks like it's a deep red, but on the card you can see it has more of a pinkish tone to it. So this has been fun, and if I don't pick up a work shift tomorrow, most likely I will be back. So thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, thank you and good night.